Train the muscles, not the joints.
Oh yeah, that's a nice stick right there. Sometimes on YouTube you have to come down to a certain person's level, and each person who views a YouTube channel will have a different understanding or a different level of expertise that as a creator you're speaking to. So because of this, you'll always have this complication of education where you're trying to give the best possible advice, but the advice is going to be different depending on the person and the stage that they are at in their own training. So I just had somebody yesterday say that my video I made on the foundation of natural bodybuilding was just a waste of time, right? And the reason why this person said that is because they didn't have enough understanding about natural bodybuilding and enough experience, possibly, to understand where I was coming from and what I was saying. And the general gist of what I was saying was that you have to consistently look at what your foundational truths are and see if they're accurate. Because there are certain things that helped you get results in your training, and you have to understand what those things are in order to move forward. And, you know, we're all human. Sometimes we make false leaps of logic and assume things that are not necessarily true. So of course, when I'm speaking to you guys, you know, I'm trying not to speak down to you at all, although right now I've got the camera in that position. But the truth is that I'm just trying to get you guys to discover what it is that's true for you. Because as much as the beginners of the world will resist this, what will work for you perfectly will be slightly different than what will work for me perfectly. And I'm trying to teach you the science of understanding that instead of just following what I tell you to do. Because if you try doing something like I do, if you try lifting exactly the way I do, maybe it will cause you a problem. You know, maybe it will not be the right thing for you. So in the end, I'm trying to open your eyes up, you know. And I think most of you, your eyes are wide open, at least partially open. I mean, you can see the screen right now, right? So I think the mistake a lot of people make is that they walk down the path of natural bodybuilding and assume that the path will be free of obstacles as long as they're on the right path. But the truth is your body will always throw curveballs at you, where you assume the path is straight, right towards your goal, but then all of a sudden it veers off in a different direction. Maybe you get an injury, or maybe all of a sudden you have a health issue with your body that nobody talked about that is also impeding your natural bodybuilding journey. Like you're not able to eat the same as somebody else because you have a digestive system issue. And then you need to deal with that. So the truth is that the path is only the starting point. But in the end, it's about forging your own path to discover what is truly right for you. And making content for people who don't want to discover this is easy because you just tell them what to do, but you're not necessarily looking out for their best interests. And that's kind of the problem with telling people cookie cutter methods to training, diet, and health, because each person's going to have some specific conditions that they have to consider. Boy, I'm tired. So some of the basics of natural bodybuilding to begin with, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Some of the basics are get stronger. Pretty simple, right? Get stronger. Not in 1 rep maxes, though. You don't have to use 1 rep maxes to get stronger. You don't even have to use 3 to 5 rep maxes to get stronger. You can use weights of 8 reps to 20 reps, and that will still put on strength. And it'll put it on in a more safe way. And yeah, once in a while you can go a bit heavier, but the truth is that training heavy all the time will probably cause you more problems in the long run, or at least most people it will, than training in more conservative rep ranges and getting stronger in those. That's one foundational truth that I think you can start with. Another foundational truth that you can start with is range of motion doesn't have to be extreme in order to get the best results. And most likely, if you use extreme ranges of motion, you're going to end up with more problems than more results. And also, you'll probably end up with less results over the long run because you're fighting the awkwardness of the movements and the body's inability to fire the main muscle bellies more so than really challenging the muscle fibers themselves, especially in the muscle belly, right? Those are two foundational truths to really build your natural bodybuilding journey upon. And like I said before, there's some science catching up to what I'm saying. There's a PhD kinesiologist on Instagram that's talking about all the things that I've been saying for years, and talking about 90-degree range of motion at the knees for squats is more efficient and better for most people, along with not using extreme ranges of motion on shoulder presses and so forth. And the truth is that this is what I kept landing on over the years. And I just had a comment that wasn't quite so intelligent in the comments. And the guy said to me, imagine if you trained with full range of motion, how much your results would be, right? It's always the typical thing, right? People say silly things like that. The truth is that I tried full range of motion on certain exercises and lost size, lost strength, and irritated the joints in the process, and found from my extensive experiments that it was not the right thing for me, and it did not work. It did not build more muscle. So the truth is that everything I'm saying to you has been time tested and true. It is not something I'm just making up based on some sort of branding, right? This is just the way I trained. And the only reason why I speak about the things that I speak about is that I got such intense resistance from the brainwashed population on YouTube about the way that I train, despite the fact that I got career-winning results with my techniques. So that's the thing. That's another foundational truth that you can take to the bank. The last one is eat enough food and make sure you get enough rest. You could say these are two, but if you're not getting enough rest and if you're not eating enough food, it doesn't matter what you do to the body, it will not be able to adapt. And also the last thing is watch what you're doing outside the gym as much as you watch what you're doing inside the gym. Because outside the gym, if you have all sorts of weird lifestyle habits and using drugs and drinking and all this sort of stuff, that stuff's going to kill your natural bodybuilding gains or destroy your potential. So it's up to you whether you want to follow that path or not, but it's definitely not in alignment with the highest amount of gains. So yeah, here's some simple truths that you can start with, but like I said, the path will reveal itself as you go, and there's going to be a lot of minute details that will become very important to you or less important, such as certain minerals in your diet, or maybe you need to adjust the macros in your diet this way instead of that way. Maybe you need even more than a gram per pound of body weight of protein in order to build muscle, right? These are the things that you'll start to discern while you start with these foundational truths. So yeah, at first, embarking upon any path is simple. It's just you follow templates that the experts give you, but in the end, if you really want to be a master, you have to be willing to fall into the abyss of the unknown and discover as you go. And that's going to take you to a place of mastery. And that's what I'm trying to teach you on this channel. That's what I'm trying to bring into your reality. And that's what I am constantly falling into. The abyss of what is the deeper truth within the deeper truth, to find out what's going to give me better results no matter what age I'm at, and no matter what is going on in my life, you know? So yeah, I hope this helps out in your training, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.